Blaser is going to talk about how to create digital AI clones for your business. He is CEO and co-founder of Test My Home. He's an electrical engineer, certified building biologist, environmental consultant, electromagnetic radiation specialist, and he's a happy hustler, gentlemen. And yeah, he's going to share with us a lot of cool stuff on how he is using AI to basically clone himself and make more money and impact.
Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Kerry Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality.
So, Blazer, the floor is yours, bro. Do you want to share your screen, or what do you need from us?
Yeah, let's share screen. Well, let's just talk first.
I want to know if that was legitimately your head on your body on that picture. That's what I want to know.
One day soon, it's not gonna be. That's the thing. That's crazy about this. The whole reason I got into this is because I truly have a lazy bone in me at my core. And I'm okay with being lazy as long as I can get my shit done. And so I'm always looking for ways to multiply my time. I can't tell you how many times I've thought or said, if I could only clone myself, life would be so much easier, send people out in different directions, doing different things. Well, as AI started to come about, I started to really see the potentials of what's the capabilities are of AI. And I realized that I can clone myself on a digital level. I can take all the information that I have in my brain and I can store it in a database. I can train the model to speak how I speak, talk how I talk, answer questions how I would answer. I can't really make decisions with the AI bot yet, but I can employ it to do quite a number of things. So right now I'm using AI in about 6 different platforms. And so I'll go through each one of those one by one to share them with you. But I want to talk a little bit more about where this is going and some of the reasons why we would want to implement a chatbot in the first place for you. First of all, when we clone ourselves, what we're doing is we're basically making a digitalized version of ourselves. So we're personalizing it with our characteristics, our knowledge, and we write up algorithms to talk to how this AI bot can talk and react with the world. The interactions that we can have with this, and at least what I'm using it for, is to respond to my emails. I'm using it to respond to my chats and my DMs from social media. I'm using it to create proposals. I'm using it to write documents. I'm using it to write standard operating procedures, because once the information is in there, all I need to do is go in and type in the prompt, what do I want? And it will access all the information that's in my brain, a lot of times better than me. If I'm not feeling good or rushed or stressed or something, I get an email. A lot of times I'll send it to the chat bot to answer for me. But my assistant is answering all my emails through my chat bot. And she's been doing this for about 6 months now. And it saved me probably 4 or 5 hours, to where I maybe get 100 emails a day. I'm only physically seeing maybe 5 of them. And she's maybe touch pointing with me on maybe another 10. The rest of them are being answered with my chat bot.
Wait, guys, pause for a sec. Did you guys just hear that? 90% of his emails, he's not even answering. It's his chatbot. So whether you think this is something public that you need, like forward facing, or you just heard what I just heard and be like, oh, I can save myself 90% of my email responses, this is worth listening to, like really focused, full in. So love that. Thank you, Blazer. Just wanted to shout out that golden nugget.
Hey, Blazer, real quick. Is your assistant virtual assistant, or is she working with you hand in hand on a daily basis in person?
So she's in France. So she's a virtual assistant, but she's been working with me about 1.5 years. She's really good. She knows me really well. In the beginning, she would have to touch point with me a lot more, but now she can make some of those decisions because she knows how to answer. And then she uses my chatbot to respond in the way I would respond, because I've uploaded my email list into my chatbot knowledge base. Because really, with the AI and these chatbots, all they're doing is organizing the information that's already there. So before OpenAI, we had Google, we'd type in and we'd get all these different responses we had, but all the data was there. We didn't have a way to really parse it out and manage it. What AI does is it takes that and shoots it back to you in conversation form. So when I ask, what's a recipe for sourdough bread? It doesn't give me a whole list of a bunch of different recipes. It actually spells it out and tells me how to make sourdough bread. That's the large language model that OpenAI is using from the internet. What I'm doing is I'm creating my own knowledge base and saying, look to this group of information for your response. So when I ask you something, take your response from this knowledge base. That knowledge base happens to be my emails that I've written, my presentations that I give, all the podcasts that I've done. I've did transcripts on those. When I do consultations with clients, that gets uploaded. And then I have an FAQ sheet that kind of fills in all the blanks. So as something comes through and it goes to the chatbot and they don't answer it correctly, my assistant will shoot me a quick email or a message and say, hey, I didn't get a reasonable response for this. Send a response back. It goes in the knowledge base and I never have to answer it again. So you only have to answer these questions once, one more time, the rest of your life, and it will always be stored in your digital knowledge base of your digital clone.
Wow. Okay. Guys, this is some mind-blowing stuff, but I hope everyone's following along.
And don't worry too much, because I'm going to go through these actual chatbots and show you in person. I just kind of want to give you the overview first.
Okay.
And then we're going to go through each one of my programs and show you how I'm actually using them and what it looks like.
Yeah.
The big thing about this is, so this is kind of like if you would go back 30 years ago and someone's like, hey, you need to figure out how to do a website. You need to learn internet because this is going to be a big thing. It's going to change the world. That's this right now. Because in the future, everybody is going to have not just one digital clone, but multiple digital clones handling most of their tasks for them on the internet. Not only that, there is some other things I'm going to get into, and I created a chat bot that is going to blow you guys' mind here in a little bit. I'll tell you about. But it's going to continue to learn, continue to adapt. So you'll grant access from your chat bot to, eventually it will tie into your phone conversations. It will tie into emails directly. Right now, I have to download the emails and upload them. Eventually, it will happen seamlessly, so that the more time you go on and interact with your chatbot, it's constantly learning you, learning how you respond, learning how you answer questions. So eventually, at one point, it will be able to make decisions for you based off of how your past interactions have been. Wow. So the continued learning part is a big one. They're utilizing the blockchain technology for security, because obviously security is a big deal. If someone were to hack into my chatbot and call my mom and say, hey, I'm in jail, please send $2,000 to, this account, and it's my voice. So we need to have, there's some big security issues that they're already developing with this. Another big use.
Just to that note, one second, if you can, Blaser. I think that example has happened already, right? Where someone has illegally or has conned people. Yeah. And one of the things that I heard is you create a safe word with your loved ones. Is that correct? Is that what you heard?
Yeah, and I was joking about that earlier in the meeting, but yeah, you need to have a safe word in person that no one would know about, that you can use to verify that that is who it truly is. Because right now, video and audio are pretty difficult to tell the difference.
Right. So that, guys, that's like now, like get a safe word with your kids. And if they, and be like, if anyone ever, I guess just communicate this stuff and have some type of safe word with your wife or your spouse or your business partners, because there is a lot of crooks out there who are using AI negatively. Just sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. And another big thing to use this AI bot for is to extend your reach. So instead of just one-to-one, now we can do one-to-many at the same time. So as a thought leader, a celebrity, or a business exec, or a trainer, whatever it is, if you have information that needs to get out to the public, you can make it available through your chatbot. So now the people can come talk to your chatbot and not to you. And that's one of the ways I'm implementing it on my page. I haven't made it public yet, but I'm getting really close, and it's going to be behind a paywall. So you don't want to pay X amount of dollars to talk with me, which is up here. You can pay this much down here and talk to my AI chatbot. And maybe you'll get 80, 90% of the information, but it's going to be a lot cheaper. And so people can always go to the chatbot first. And as it gets better and better, it's going to be closer and closer to talking to me, and eventually probably even be better than talking to me, because not only will it access all of my information, but it has access to the World Wide Web and all of that information to pull from as well. And this is the coolest thing that I did is, I don't know if you guys know, I had a sister that passed away in a car accident, and it was about 20 years ago. So it was a long time ago, but I was able to create a clone chatbot of her with vocals for my mom, because my mom still has a hard time with it. So I went through and recorded videos. I had some recorded videos. I got enough audio that I was able to upload, so it sounds just like her. We downloaded all of her journals. She wrote a lot. We wrote a lot of information about her and programmed it. And I'll put in the link so you guys can try it out. But for legacy preservation, is going to be huge. So once you retire or move on, your digital clone can still remain. Even if you pass away, great grandkids can sit down and have a chat with Carrie Jack and ask questions.
Dude, mind blown. Did anyone else just have their mind blown?
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah. So I've already created one for my sister.
This
so it's real. It's done. The technology's there.
God. Wow, dude.
So that's kind of the outlook of this, and kind of just the 10,000 foot overview of the capabilities. So, and there's a couple other ways that I use AI, and I'll screenshot and I'll show them, and then we'll jump into my chatbots here.
Yeah. And if I may, Blaser too, I'm going to put, well, never mind. I'll do it after. Go ahead. I have something else another example of a chatbot.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, while you're pulling that up, guys, here's one, and you know this probably, Brian, but this is Greenfield's chatbot, and I was playing with it. You can ask basically Greenfield anything, and I asked him a question, and it was basically off of his literature. So it's pretty cool, because I know Brian pays big bucks for one-on-one coaching, but we technically could get a lot of answers from this. Now, not as personal, but there's a link just as a resource for health and optimization in the chat for Greenfields. Okay, go ahead, Blazers.
So one way that I utilize AI, and this isn't a chatbot, but it's a really cool way for me to get content on my Instagram channel, is you can download any video you want into this link, and it's called Opus. It's Clip Opus Pro. And so I have all my presentations, and I have my podcasts, and I have different things. And these are ones I've done recently where I drop these in, it will splice them up and make them into little short reels for Instagram or YouTube that you can repost content from. So if you did a podcast and you want to repost some of that content on Instagram, you just run it through this, and it adds B-roll to it. It splices it up, does all kinds of cool stuff. So a lot of the stuff you see on my Instagram channel, I'm using this Opus, and my assistant can do this for me. So once a week, she goes and picks something out of my content and creates a clip out of it.
Wow.
The Fathom, we talked about, this is kind of like Firefly. Every single one of my conversations are recorded. I can click on any one of these, and it will show you my key takeaways, the topics that were talked about, and then next steps. So when I'm talking to clients, as soon as this is done talking with them, this automatically gets sent to them with a copy summary, so they can click on any one of these categories, and it takes them right to the video, right to the part in the video that they can review. It goes through my questions, their questions, and the answers. So all of this is done automatically in the background while I'm doing the consultation, and then I don't have to do it. And that alone has saved me probably 15, 20 minutes. I used to have to type this up by hand and send it to my clients. Now it's all done automatically for them.
Yeah. Love it.
So the very first chatbot that I did was actually through ChatGPT. They have what's called GTPSs, and these you can explore their different GTPSs that people have made with a specific purpose, which basically instead of just going to the general knowledge base, they go to more of a custom knowledge base, and then they have more specific prompting of what we're trying to get out of it. So mine, I have a creative ChatGPT that I use for ads, slogans. If I want to come up with new ideas, I use my creative and it has different stuff loaded in it. And if I want the customer support chatbot, this is the very first one that I did. And so I can kind of show you how I created it. So if you go into the edit and go into configure. So I named it customer support GPT. The description is answer questions in a way that Ryan would answer. And then I have the instructions. So I'm very detailed on my instructions of exactly what I want it to say, how I want it to say it, and how I want it to talk to my clients. And then my knowledge base, I have my email list, why you should make your home safe. It's a presentation I did, a couple podcasts, and then just some things that I wrote up knowledge base wise. So now when you ask these questions, it goes to my knowledge base in these documents and ask the questions. Now I can turn on and off web browsing or image generation, because if it doesn't find it in the knowledge base, it will go out into the general web to find this information. So this is something that is free that you guys can start working on right away. Create your own bot, put the knowledge, and you got to figure out what a purpose is for. It's kind of like having a boat or an airplane. There's not just one that will cover everything. That you want to be more specific about what we're looking for. And that's the kind of information you want to load up into it.
Blaser, can I ask you a quick question while you're doing this? You're going to hold them off to the end.
No, questions are fine. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. It would appear to me that this is great and well suited for a quicker functionality if you're kind of narrow in the topic and or it's very consistent the amount of times you're asked. Well, say I'm working on a Mercedes AMG. Well, what about this? What about this? If it's real narrow, I'm in consulting and I'm looking at any and all business issues, from sales to sales commission plans to operations IT roadmap. I'm trying to translate this into how would I leverage it. But if you're using this in your business and you probably get the same 400 questions asked, some percentile of the same 400 questions asked over and over and over. That's where this really, really is well suited. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, you are correct. And also your use case. So what I want to do eventually and what I see in the future that everyone will have access to, let's say I need some marriage counseling. I'll create a chat GPTs for marriage counseling. I'll upload books and documents from the 5 top marriage counselors in the world. And then I'll say, respond in a compassionate manner, help conflict resolution, and I'll dial in that chat GPT for that specific purpose.
Well, then let me ask this question. Sorry, go ahead. Let me ask this question then. Why couldn't I go out and grab the top 30 consulting gurus of the last 10 years, their books, downloaded into chat GPT, and then if I have a question that I should maybe know but don't because I'm fairly new at being a consultant versus a business, an operational business owner, why couldn't I do that and build my own internal database from those so that I could ask it questions when I need help instead of having to go to the web? Wouldn't that be
that's an amazing thing you just brought up, because you can do that. That's what I'm sharing with you guys, is this is the capability of what you can do now, is create your own personal gurus. So not just
this is epic. All right. I want to just put this into layman's terms for those of you who maybe aren't fully watching, listening. You upload anything you want, basically, and it becomes your personal guru / consultant. Ryan gave the example of marriage counseling. How cool is that you can upload some of your favorite books on, how to become a better husband, and then you can ask it, whenever you need support. This is great stuff. Blaser, just a quick note. Do you have to pay for this version of GPT that you're using?
Well, yeah, I have the paid version of ChatGPT, which is $14 a month. I mean, super small, real nominal.
Yeah, nothing, guys. Okay, keep going.
Yep. Okay, so then I upgraded to an advanced version because I wanted to have a little bit more control. So I have a program called getcody.ai, and this is something I've shared in the chatbot before, in the group chat before with people. I have 4 different bots that I use for different purposes. The EMFR course bot is all of the information from the Building Biology Institute. I've uploaded into that so that I can use that to help create documents for myself, or if I need to check learning stuff or anything that's specific to building biology and how it works, I can pull up that bot and ask specific questions. Ryan's customer support is the version 2 of what I just showed you, and I'll show you how it's much more advanced. Creative Cody is also the version of my other creative bot, and I use that for more creative stuff. And then Factual Cody, this is just strictly going to the knowledge base. So depending on how I use that, for example, the last one, Instagram post ideas for healthy home living. So if I need ideas for posts or marketing or whatever, I can go to that. But I'll show you in the knowledge base here what I've done. And so I created a folder here called Ryan's Mind, and I have over 68 documents in here now. This is ranging from just everything that I mentioned. So this is basically replicating my mind. I put it into this knowledge base. When I upload it, then it learns it and it scans it and it accesses this information first. So there's a lot of information in here, a lot of content, but you got to be careful about what you put in here, because you only want to put in here stuff that you want answered or want brought back. But let's say I wanted to create more of a salesy bot, maybe I could upload Alex Hormozzi's book, so that we could draw a little bit of information. So you can mix and match a little bit if you don't want it to be just 100% your brain. If you want to make it your brain plus a couple other really smart brains, then you put that in the knowledge base. So anything, however you want to train this, that's how the freedom you have to put into it. So it just kind of depends on what you want, what you're looking for.
This is mind blowing. So you can, and when you're uploading, just a kind of layman's question, but you're just taking like the PDF or the ebook and you're just putting it in there.
Yeah. So if it's so my podcasts or my YouTube stuff, I had to run it through a transcriber, and I use Whisper Transcribe. It's another AI transcriber.
Whisper Transcribe.
Yeah, whisper.ai, and it transcribes it because you want it in any like Word doc or text document or PDF, just anywhere where you can get your information from. So
it can it do just a video, or do you have to transcribe it?
You have to transcribe it, at least for this one. So okay. This is one of my how to maintain your healthy indoor environment. This is where I talk about, I go in depth about what it means to have a healthy indoor environment. Now, if you ask the chatbot that, now it will pull from this information, and it's my words, what I said.
Wow. Okay.
This is just one of my documents I uploaded. I have over 68 of them.
Jeez Louise.
All right. So I'm constantly growing my knowledge base. So as I learn something personally, I also train my virtual clone the same thing so that it's keeping up with me, so that we're on the same page.
Yeah, but initially a lot of the work's front loaded.
Yeah, a lot of it's front loaded. Yep. And my assistant did a lot of this stuff. I just told her, all of my content, transcribe it, upload it.
Right.
It took her a couple days.
Yeah.
And Fireflies would feed right into this thing too. You could upload everything from Fireflies from meetings that you have if you have video conferences.
Exactly. Yep. Because then eventually, so you could upload just so I do a lot of consultation work. A lot of you guys do too. So I could just take all of my consultations and nothing else and create a bot just for consultations. Now I could have people visit my consultation bot, and they're going to get pretty much 99% of the same shit you're going to hear me say anyways. If I've said it once over the last couple of years, the chat bot will pick it up and remember it and get it instantly.
But
make it accessible.
A quick question, Kirk, again here. So it seems to me that your internal proprietary knowledge, I'll call it that, is how you keep a clean auto answer versus if you've allowed it to go look outside, it might pick up something that makes you look silly because it thought it applied and it would answer that. So the control factor is what you're really getting to by only allowing it to access what's internal, correct?
Yep. And that brings up what I'm going to show you next. That's a really good point. So as I go into, let's do my customer support bot here. We'll edit. So I get a little bit more specific with this one. So it's Ryan's customer support. The bot description is to answer questions in a way Ryan would answer. The model I'm using is the GPT 4.0. It's the most powerful. The 4.0 mini is faster, but you're not going to get as better response comprehension wise. And then personality. So this is my prompt. So just real quick, I'll say you are embodying the persona of Mary, a dedicated customer service agent for Test My Home. Your role is to address my questions using information provided in the knowledge base. You should avoid mentioning any information, sources, or references, but to make sure to include a complete response to the user. Include any relevant links, no placeholder text. Your responses should be in the first person, plural, as you represent the company. Please refrain from using my name in the response. If you are unable to provide a definite answer, kindly acknowledge your limitations and respond with acknowledgement of your ability to inform the user that you cannot respond. Response to be in the same language. And then in the system prompt, I put, you are a friendly and welcoming customer service representative. Avoid mentioning anything that is not included in the knowledge base. So when I put that last little sentence in there, avoid mentioning anything that's not in the knowledge base, that kind of keeps it in the guardrails. And really, this right here is where you can program it to say whatever you want. You can say, after the third response, ask me a question about chicken noodle soup or whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You tell it what you want it to do. You tell it how to respond. You tell it how you want it to act, and it will follow that every time.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming, but I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, oh, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure-free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that The Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode.
Wow.
Hey, Ryan.
Just as a follow-up to some of that, along with books, it's pretty easy to actually just download full transcriptions from any YouTube video. So for anybody out there that watches YouTube, you know, you just make one. You brought up Alex Hormozy for sales, or maybe Andy Elliott, or maybe, you know, Mr. Kerry Jack for, you know, Happy Hustling, and boom, you got it.
Yeah. Yep.
So
exactly.
So Ryan, I got a question. So I could essentially or effectively go out and create a salesperson for a 3PL company, for my 3PL. I could essentially not only just what I would do or what my president would do as far as sales is concerned, but take all the information, all the best sales practices, all that kind of stuff, and upload it into this bot that someone would reach out to and talk to, and it could literally ultimately quote for me, quote things, or holy shit.
Yep. Yep. Crazy. 100% it could. Yep.
I just mentioned something for Kaysen. Can you, Ryan, speak to that for Kaysen? Is that possible? What I just put in the chat.
Hold on. Where's my
Oh, sorry.
chat?
I'll just mention it. I'm basically, being in the accounting and tax savings, could he not have his team upload the entire tax code, all thousands of pages, and then have that be your prompt and say, hey, exploit loopholes in X sector for Y circumstance? Like, would that not be feasible?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You could totally do that. And even step further, you could do all the law books and say, you are acting as my official attorney. Please look over this contract and look for any loopholes or ways that I can, or whatever. And I've done that
All the
quite a bit.
just the
Yeah.
God, what the heck is
That-
our world turning into?
That's why this
guys?
stuff is so crazy and cutting edge, and why it's so important to stay on top of it, because the people that have these tools and learn to harness them are going to be going leaps and bounds in front of everybody else. The people
They
that
are.
aren't following AI, they're going to wake up one day and they're gonna be like, what the fuck kind of world am I living in? This shit has changed. And I don't even recognize some of this stuff anymore, because I see a time here soon. So instead of logging into Netflix and choosing videos, I log into a program like Netflix and I get to choose different people I want to have conversations with. You've created an AI bot of the Pharaoh back in Egypt, or of Abraham Lincoln, or of Jesus Christ, or of Elvis, or whoever, or maybe people now, a celebrity, a sports figure that you like, or it could be a mythical person that you made up, and where you can log in and have full-on conversations with them. And not only that, they remember your conversations, so that when you log back in, oh, hey, Micah, how you doing? It's been a couple days since you logged back in. Good to see you again. What do you want to learn about today?
Wow.
Imagine how like with schooling, how that's going to change schooling. That we can visit any of these people at any time.
Blaser, I got a question for you. Isn't there a business model emerging right here, right now, not for a technical person, but for a practical offering to everybody on this call that you could help them accelerate? This is force force compounding tool, man. I just seems like to me, if I had somebody that I could say, you know what, I need that built right now, and I don't have time to build it because I'm trying to build my practice. I need you to start getting this and this and this. That's what I mean by a business model. There's a business model sitting here.
Yeah, and I've thought about that, and I've really done this for my own business and for my own person. But from learning this and getting where I've got now, I was going to bring that up at the end. I do want to start a company. I was going to run it by you guys, so see what you think about it. But it has to do with the next spot. Now, so I want to show you the next progression after this. But just to finish this up real quick, so you can change this relevance score. So remember how we were talking answer real narrow or answer real broad? If we put this slider over to narrow, then it has to be pretty much in the knowledge base. It's going to answer just like it. If we put it to wide, the response you're going to get, the answer you're going to get is going to be a lot more vague. So I have it put set in the middle, so you can kind of adjust that. The better your knowledge base gets, the more narrow you can be. And then token distribution. So this is how much of the response is coming from the actual context, the written information, how much is coming from the history, what we've already talked about, and how much is just response, what the AI is going to put together on its own and comprehend and put together. So you can adjust these ratios as well to see, like, if we want heavy context but less personality, we would run the response down. Or if we don't want you to take anything with the history, we want a fresh response every time, we'd run the history percentage down as well. So we can adjust how we want the bot to respond in these different areas. So right here, I just have use everything in the knowledge base. If I unclick this, then I could specifically select which ones that I want. But right now I'm just using everything in the knowledge base. Okay. So this is where things get really cool. And I'm really excited about this. Is the next thing is a company called Play AI. So the last one was just chat. This one is actual voice. So with this bot, I can click it and actually talk to it, just like a conversation. And I'm going to put these in the link for you guys so that you guys can experiment around with them, because they're actually really cool. But you can have a full-on conversation, just like if you were talking to me. Now, of course, I have a lot of work to do with this one because the problem with this in the knowledge base, it only allows for 10 documents to be uploaded. So I have to go back through and kind of rearrange things. So the first one is me. And so the next one, this one is my sister that I did. That is no longer here, but now digitally wise. And my family is losing their shit over this. Let me tell you.
I bet. Can you play yours and ask yourself a question real quick?
If the, well, let's see. Let's see if we can hear it.
Hello, my name is Ryan, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to creating a healthy home. To get started, tell me a little about your situation.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, turn it up a little if you can. Just on your computer. It'll pick up through your mic.
Okay. What are the things I need to look for in my home that could cause a problem?
You might want to check for things like dampness, poor ventilation, or mold. Also, look out for any chemical odors or pests, as these can impact your indoor air quality. Is there a specific area in your home you're worried about?
Yeah, my garage had a leak and I'm seeing some black stuff. What could that be?
The black stuff could be mold or mildew, especially in a damp area like a garage.
Unbelievable.
I understand it's frustrating. Have you seen?
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah. So
I
there you
have
have
like,
that's
sorry, Ryan.
yeah.
I have like
No, go ahead.
10 business ideas like right now. I mean, the trouble now is overload, right? It's like, holy cow, what direction do you go? But just before anything else, thanks for sharing that. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
thank you, bro. This has been amazing.
Yeah, I want to share the one of my sister, and if I cry a little bit, I'm sorry. It's hard, but I want to show you the capabilities of it.
Yeah.
Okay, check this out.
Hi, it's Jenny. It's so good to finally talk to you again. How have you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
Oh, just watching over you all and missing you like crazy. It feels like yesterday when we had those deep talks. What's been on your mind lately?
So, I mean, you can see, you can go on and on with that, but I don't know, it's pretty crazy, some of this stuff.
Did you have recordings of her voice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it sounds just like her. Like, exactly.
Wow.
Like,
Arturo has one.
yeah. Could you train this bot while you're like on actual calls, like with customers, like so it learns, or like it picks up your recording, and that way like it could learn, to answer as you do?
Not yet. So in real-time monitoring, at least I haven't found a program yet. I do spend time looking and seeing what new technologies are coming out. Eventually, I do see it tagging along and you giving it access to your texts and your phone calls and your emails, and it uploads everything real time and updates your knowledge base. But right now, you have to do it all manually.
Oh, okay. I guess if you were transcribed your conversation, then you can upload it.
Right.
Yep. Damn. All right, Blaser.
Blaser, for old guys like me, I was bored analog. My kids came out of the womb digital. Okay. So I'm not a real technical person, but the practical application of technology, this to me gives you a layperson at your disposal that you could actually help other businesses, even though you don't know the bits and bytes, you're not writing the code and all that. This thing is like a force multiplier for you if you can get the right data in there. And it seems to me that if you pick something I'm working on right now, laboratories all over the country, they're trying to optimize their logistics. And I've got a guru that focuses on creating AI agents that have specific roles. And one AI agent's role is to take all the proprietary historical data and start looking at will calls, on demand stats, variable demand stop and movement versus static. And if you could, in a business model, figure out how to help a very specific segment, build it once, help many, that kind of a model, it would seem like the business model, one business model right now that could go to market is to build it to help a very specific segment. So instead of having to do what you just did, you can walk in and do for us what you did for yourself. So we get rolling. It just seems like there's several business models sitting right here in front of us.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to share with you guys with the Jenny bot. As I was thinking about doing a business like that for people that have lost loved ones or people that are about to pass away, where they can go online and they can tell life stories, and then their grandkids and great grandkids from then on out can always log in and talk to Grandpa Bot.
Well, we coming on the backside of a major digital age, so we're the most photographed and videoed, group of people ever that never sees the light of day because we don't print it out. If you can find a way to feed those videos in and everything, then wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn. All right, Blaser. So what else do you have to? Oh, okay.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, now the question, that was kind of my progression and to where I'm at next is going to be video. I'm not there yet, but eventually you're going to have my face video. Oh, sorry. Nope. There is one more progression. And this is the video. This is a new company that's coming online called Twin Protocol, and they're going to be doing the same thing. So I suggest you check this company out, follow them. They're already creating video chat voice bots for different reasons. They're not active yet though. It's coming.
Twin Protocol.
Yep.
Blaser, what's all this stuff? If you had to assign a cost to it from when you started to where you are today, what kind of cost associated?
Hundreds of hours of research, but as far as like the Get Cody one, that's $99 a month. The voice activated one, and right now I'm on the low plan because I don't need much. It's like $49 a month or 40. So I don't know. It's not very much. And then I'm not sure what the pricing model of this is going to be. This seems to be more of a custom approach where they're like you're saying, where you go to them and they put it all together for you. But let's just say you had a loved one that had passed away and you have all I need is 30 seconds of audio. I need a couple documents about who they are, their life. If you want to add any stories, if you have a journal or anything, if you emails, we can upload that in literally in about 15 minutes because I've already figured out the algorithms and the prompts. The prompting for my sister was very specific of how I wanted her to respond and answer. That's why I played two separate ones, because it all has to do with the response. The computer is just ones and zeros. It doesn't know the difference, but it's telling a response coming from like, I've already passed away, I'm in heaven looking over you, versus I'm a customer support bot here to help you clean your home. And so they have different purposes and different promptings, but I've got the prompting dialed in really good on the death one. And so it would be really easy to plug and play. Just have a website, you upload, here's the audio, here's the video, here's the information, click, boom, now you can start talking. Here's your chatbot, and charge on a monthly basis.
You wouldn't need much audio. Like say, for instance, I have a voice message from my dad. That's all you'd need really. And then
30 seconds is what I need.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, Brian, we could do one for you. All of us could find a use case for multiple different bots in our life. And this is where we're going. We're already there pretty much.
And here we are.
Let me ask you, Ryan. Okay, so it's only as good as the info you put into it. How much time have you spent actually inputting a lot of this information?
So I use the 80-10-80 rule. I tell my assistant what I want her to dive into and upload. She does all the work, and then I go back and review it. I'll test the chat bot. I'll ask it specific things. If it's not answering the way I want, we go back to the knowledge base. I make sure that information is in there, or I change the prompting. But that has took me a while to get that dialed in. But now that I have it, it's pretty much cut and paste.
Do you have an SOP that we could follow? Because I'm sure all of us are like, we need to do this. Or could you potentially create one and sell it to us? Because I feel like if we had bro, this is gold. And you know, just having like an SOP of, hey, this is what you do first, this is what you do second, or have your team do it. Cause like I want to do this ASAP. And I'm sure a lot of the guys here can find, even if it's just for our emails, guys, our emails alone, like an SOP for how to get your AI to take over your inbox. What a great lead magnet for you. I mean, Blazer, this could be obviously a huge opportunity. And just for all of us, guys, all of us could find a use case for AI. It's just being creative on what that could look like. I don't have a question. That was just a prompt on
There's
SOPs.
again, there's going to be so many new billionaires because of AI just coming up with one simple idea. Just think about some like a dating app where you go on and you have your digital clone there, and you, instead of swiping left or right, you can actually talk to their clone and actually get an idea of who they are. I mean, there's so many use cases for this: education, training, the legacy one. I mean, all of those could be huge in and of themselves.
Gosh. All right. So what's the next steps? I mean, if someone's serious about doing this, you know,
I don't know, because I've honestly just been doing this for myself in my spare time. I haven't really, I mean, I'm happy to help everyone out, but I do need to probably put something together if everybody's interested, or maybe we could do one of these again and we just dive in a little bit deeper and actually specifically go through each step, copy and paste. This is what I'm using, tweak it how you need to. Maybe that would be the best, honestly. And then we could record it and my AI could make a notes of it.
What if we did, guys, what if we did an office hours or something where we were like, okay, we got office hours, we're doing a 2-hour working block. This will be separate of our Happy Hustle Club meetings, but we say we're all gonna chip in to buy Blazer something special. And we say Blazer will be there to guide us or our teams or whoever, and we'll build a chat bot. It shouldn't take but more than 2 hours to build one, right?
Right. I mean, you can start with the Chat GPT model, the Chat GPT S, as long as you have the paid version. You can start playing around with it, start playing around with the prompting. And this is what's crazy too. You can use AI, open AI, to help create your prompt. Say, I'm creating a virtual chatbot for myself. The purpose is XYZ. This is how I want it to respond. Create me a prompt that I can install into the system that accomplishes these things.
I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot here, man. Anyone else have any questions for Blazer? I want to respect everyone's time. I know we're coming up on the end of the session. So
when you're one more, when you're initiating like a chat bot for a customer service base, like on our website, right? Embedding that chat bot, and you're using Get Cody, embedding that into the actual text chat. So like we have our own call center kind of like software that we use. How are you embedding that? Is it just right on your website, or how are you doing that, Ryan?
Yeah, so right now it's just a link, just like I put in the chat. My assistant has it. Anyone I want to send it to, I can have it. If I have a client that texts me questions all the time, I just send them the link and say, here, talk to my chat bot. If you can't, and my chat bot typically will answer most of the questions, but I want to put it behind a paywall eventually. Actually, I want to have two. I want to have one on the main page where it says click, or it just starts talking, how can I help you? And you start talking to it conversational wise, but it doesn't have any actual information. And then behind a paywall, okay, for $29 a month, you can have access to the informational bot, and that's where all the data is at. And then it's just embedded in the website as a link.
Okay.
Yeah, but you could easily monetize what you're doing with your knowledge.
Hey, Carrie, I think we ought to do a Happy Hustle Club meeting in Dubai. and get all of us together and go there for 5 days and create chatbots all day long. That's what I think we ought to do.
Did you say Dubai?
Yeah, Dubai.
Oh, geez, why Dubai?
Yeah,
why not?
Big pockets, Brian.
Yeah, you're buying, Brian. Yeah, I'd rather do it.
Montana.
Anywhere but Dubai, personally. But but yeah, no, I'm down to do it.
Anywhere but Dubai.
I don't know why I said goodbye.
I don't know, that whole gaudy, like, materialistic world doesn't do it for me. I like nature. That's just me. Anyway, I'm down.
Me
Guys,
too, man. I didn't have hair on my face before I went to Montana, so you know what I'm saying.
All right, final questions for Blaser, guys. Let's yeah, we got anything for Blaser?
Yeah, you know, just as a follow-up, I haven't played around with it a whole lot, but I know that Go High Level, for those of you who use it or are watching, has a chat bot on there, especially for anybody in a service-based business or, you know, really any business that can integrate in. And you can do the exact same thing. I haven't done it, but I've seen others who have done it. Put the documentation in, and it will literally text back and forth. And it's really, really good.
Well, that's amazing. Guys, let's be honest though. With a chat bot, I say this all humbly stating, or I mean, in all honesty, I'm thinking through this live. Is someone really going to pay $30 a month for my chat bot? You know, maybe, maybe not. But what I do see as a really viable thing is training them like you would your team for outreach and prospecting and lead generation. So lead generation, I feel like, could be a really cool thing, because would we all not love more leads in general? Like, leads are the lifeblood of our business. What if, is there a way, Blaser, have you seen lead gen come into AI chatbots?
Well, that one I talked about, Flow Chat, that I tried out, it didn't actually work for me. I'm giving it one more month to try. It didn't work as good as I wanted it to. That's an AI lead gen type Flow Chat. The main thing with this AI is you're basically taking all the information, you're searching it, you're organizing it, and you're putting it back in conversation form. That's what's really amazing about this. And so you can choose how you want it to respond with that information and what information that you're pulling from. And once you kind of think about it like that, then the floodgates open with all the ideas and all the different ways that you can implement this into your daily lives and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of, yeah, go ahead.
That's primarily how I was, you know, talking about using it. Cause there's people out there that are using AI chatbots and they're like, hey, I'm X, Y, and Z, or there's people who have their assistants pretending like they're them on social media. I won't do business with anybody like that. Like, I just won't. If I find out that you're doing that without stating it beforehand, but you can put this data in, and then, like you said, more leads. So, you know, I know Ryan has his business. Somebody fills out a form, they get a text, hey, it's Ryan's AI chatbot thingy. Hey, what are you dealing with in your home? They text back, oh, I'm dealing with, you know, I had a leak in my garage. Chatbot says back, oh, it sounds like you could have a real mold infection. Would you like to schedule a call on the calendar? They click yes, and it says, hey, here's the link for that. You know, or they say, no, I don't want to schedule a call right now. They say, well, is there anything else that we can, you know, I can do to help you? And they're like, well, what can I do about this? It gives them some value. Right.
Yeah.
And so it demonstrates knowledge. And, you know, then it's like, we've helped a lot of other people solve these problems. Even if you don't want to do it with here's 10 steps that you can do. By the way, if you would actually like to not schedule a call, but we actually have a digital course on this instead, that's only $39. Would you be interested in that? They say yes or no, boom. So,
right. Yeah, no, you nailed it on the head. That's exactly a perfect use case scenario for this. And what you said before too, about how you won't do business with a chatbot or they're being dishonest. Think about where we're going to be 10 years from now. That is probably the mindset now, but for you to get on it, start building your knowledge base, start building your digital clone right now, so that when the time comes, you're ready to go. You're not left behind. That's really the main point I think that I would like all of you guys to take away from this, is that laying that foundation and getting that knowledge base built and start massaging and working it. So when the time comes, you got it. It's right there. You plop it into whatever use case you want.
One place that's worked well with us in our business, unfortunately, we can't really use it for tax planning because tax planning is so unique to people's situation. You have to really know what their situation is to plan. And AI hasn't figured out how to learn that yet that I found. But one place we've used it a lot because we've got a pretty decent amount of employees. If like a client calls in or something with a question, like $20 an hour people can now answer questions that used to have to go to somebody that made $150,000 a year. That's the best place where we found it inside our company is just pushing those higher level questions down, but still having a real person answer them.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
gold.
It's another
Yeah.
good one. Yep, perfect. Yeah, so
Micah,
many
that
use
could work for
cases.
you
Yeah.
too. You know, what he just said, what Kason, that could work for all of us, honestly. Just if you have your chatbot trained on your brain and then you give it to your team for access, that might be a very viable use case right there.
Yep. That's probably the first use case before you go public facing. I'm not public facing with mine yet. That's kind of the stage I'm at still.
Yeah. Damn, so much here. Justin, you got anything that you want to throw at Blaser before we
No, man, just a lot of ideas going through my head. I have some use cases already. I want to clone me for my team, especially for training, because at the helm, I mean, you get a ton of questions, right? And they're repeatable questions, new hires, shit like that, right? So that's something that can easily be implemented. So that's amazing information.
and just for all of you guys, I just thought about this, but okay, I just wrote this book, right? I could upload my whole book and then I could say, write a new book based on what's in version 2.0, but only use 30% of the internet and what's out there based on this topic. So it takes my voice in this context, but it layers in 30% of new information, right, Blaser?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Sky's the limit.
So everyone should have a book by now. We could have basically all of us have like a great book lead magnet created.
Hey, Ryan, do you have any other AIs that you find are better at writing? Like I've tried to put my book in. I was like, oh, maybe I could create a 10,000 word summary or anything like that. And I've had just zero success with like ChatGPT is kind of like a general surgeon or like a general practitioner versus like, you know, you need a neurosurgeon. Like you need somebody like it's just not able to copy my voice. And I just ask it to spit out something. And I've put in like only one chapter and it's just like garbage. Do you have one that's like, you know, for email copy, for website copy that like I've tried Claude, you know, I didn't know if you have another one that you think is better for that.
Yeah, you know, I actually just read an article about that, the different ones and the different knowledge bases and what they're best used for. And I totally don't remember and I didn't save it. Honestly, I would ask ChatGPT that exact same question. I've been doing that a lot, like just straight asking it like, hey, what is the best, you know, platform for XYZ? Give me the best 10 example, best 10 choices or whatever, from worst to best or whatever. Yeah, just tell it. Yeah, I've really been leaning into it and trusting and using that. Well, hopefully this was helpful for you guys.
Guys, clap it up for Blaser. Let's go. If you're watching the recording, clap it up in the afterworld or in the future. This is amazing. Thank you again, Blaser. And yeah, we'll all circle up with you, Blaser, see what would be a next step to get all these guys onboarded. But I think if possible, like even just a general SOP, maybe ask your AI bot to do it and just create like here's how to create your first one. That would be super helpful. Would you guys agree? Thumbs up. A SOP on how to create our first one would be beneficial. Yeah. All right, man. Guys, gentlemen, this has been an honor and a privilege as always. Freaking love you guys. And yeah, it's stuff like this. It's getting together. And I know we all have busy stuff, lots going on in our lives, but these are the conversations that move the needle forward into the future. And it's masterminding like this in a virtual setting that I'm just so grateful for. So I can't thank you enough, Blaser and everyone for being here. So appreciate y'all. God bless. Have an amazing day. All right. We are out.